Welcome to the show, What is a Little Girl Supposed to Do? The show is about survival, perseverance, and redemption. Well, thank you for chiming in to What is a Little Girl Supposed to Do? Wow. Today we have Laurie Palmer. It's a family affair. She is here as a guest, but it is a family affair.
Right.
And so I want to introduce her, and then we have my daughter, LaShante. What is a little girl supposed to do? So yeah, we're going to start off. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm a poet and I know it.
A poet and I like that.
I'm a poet and I know it. And so I wrote this poem that I would like to share in the beginning here. It's called Broke. Okay? I say, I may be broke, but I'm not broken. God put me back together again. I just have to believe I will win. I have to have faith in the God inside of me. I have to trust because God will set me free. God can make me whole again, and I know I will win. I have to pray every day because God wants to hear from me. That will be the only way I will be set free. He will heal me when he knows I am for real, because God already know why I was broke but not broken. Time will heal all wounds. God set me free from all of my misery. God bless you.
And when he set you
Man.
free, Jesus.
Woo.
Won't he do it?
Oh my God.
Total
Yes.
freedom over here.
Man.
Can't you see
Man.
it?
Ooh.
Ooh, hallelujah.
Yes.
That came from wisdom,
Beautiful.
sister.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow.
So we want Miss Laurie.
Yes.
Yes.
So I do want to comment on your poem, though, the win part.
Man.
Wow, that is what we're talking about. We're talking about winning
Yes.
in relationships, in our community, when it comes to the violence. We're talking about winning.
Yes.
We're talking about changing the mindset
Yes.
to a winning set, not an ending set.
Yes.
But I like that win for real.
Beautiful.
So I am Laurie Palmer, and I am the CEO and the founder of Go Get Your Child Community Violence Prevention Coalition. Go Get Your Child is my way of creating a foundation for the African American community to sit in the 12 sector coalition. A lot of people don't know what a coalition is. It's 12 sectors. I haven't been able to get that 12 sector yet, but I have been doing a lot of movement with Go Get Your Child when it comes to intervention in our community. It started in 2015 when my son got shot 6 times at the after hours establishment. And when my son got shot and I got the call, I always thought, like everybody else think, it won't happen to me. I got the call, but see, they called the wrong mama that day. Because that day, I took it up on myself to say, I'm going to go handle my son, and I'm going to handle me, and then I am going to handle this community eventually. Because I'm already a motivational speaker. I'm a public speaker. So when this happened, I had that platform already. So I had that mindset, sooner or later I'm going to use this story to change lives. That's how my life has always been. Anything about me has been transparent in order to give you a visual, because I'm a visual person. Most people are visual people. You just have to see it, and then you can do it. And so that's my whole thing about a lot of people say letting your business in the street. It's not nobody's business once somebody's child gets shot in our community. It becomes all of our business. Well, when my son got shot, it was a learning curve for me. But I came in the room bossed up. And when I say bossed up, I have God. That's the only person that needs to direct me. I'm not talking about popping my collar when I say bossed up. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. And so first of all, he held me together and strengthened me so that I can go through that lesson with my child. And so it really started in January when he got shot. But by February, do you guys remember they had a march in Washington, and it was a mother that was watching TV, and her son was there. And she had told him not to go to that march, and he was in the march. And she left and went down to Washington, slapped her son on public TV, and drug him off. Do you remember that?
I do.
And so I'm sitting there, my son in the house with my son's. He's on a defibrillator, and all I can hear is that machine going back and forth in my thoughts. And I'm watching her. I'm like, no, she didn't just do that. She just embarrassed all the African American mothers on TV. Went down there, snatched and slapped them. I mean, she drug him off. And you know how the spirit talks to you. And I kept on hearing in my spirit, what did she do? And I said, she embarrassed us. And she also showed them, you know, how they say angry black women. So right there on TV, you know, you just gave them a taste of angry black woman snatching your child. Because that's the first thing they going to go to. We ain't going to go to that because we know what time it is. I'm going to get mine. And so I got asked one more time. I said, she went and got her child. I said, she went and got her child. So when God began to speak to me about what I was going to do about the situation with my son, you know, almost dying, and then him granting my wish of letting him live, I was like, I should form something. What can I do? I'm a speaker. What can I do? And he said, you know how coalition works because you had just did one. With Pastor Hardy over at Highland Christian Center. I was the coordinator over African American Coalition for Underage Drinking. And I seen how that coalition of people sitting in their seats, far as parents and youth and people of the community, coming together and doing like a survey and figuring out what in the survey comes out. And then that is what we would focus on and try to change. And so I knew how powerful that was. And then we did activities with the kids. It was just a lot to do with the coalition. I didn't see it going on here. So I chose to do a coalition. And so I said, I went through all that stuff to prepare. See, God will take you through things to prepare you for things that's coming.
Yes.
And so I said, well, I'm going to do a coalition, and I'm going to name it Go Get Your Child. Because I want to say to the parents, go get your child. You know they're out there with guns. You know they're broken. You know they got mental health. You knew all this stuff. And I knew all this stuff about my son, too. But a lot of people assume that my son, because they had a gang member title on him, you know, that he just went out and got in trouble. That was not the case. He went to after hours and seen one of our family members getting spit on and disrespected, and he chose to get out the car. Because I taught my son, you don't let none of us get disrespected. You see us, you know, you come to our rescue. And so he got out the car and told him, no, homie, this family. You know, and the guy asked him who he was, and he told him who he was. And for him, he was the OG of, you know, a gang or whatever. And he was like, I'm going to get in the car and get my brownie points. So he left, went and sat in the car. So my son made sure that she got in the car safely. When it pulled over, my son said he went to run to get into the car that had dropped him off. They had parked in front of the guy. The guy shot my son 6 times and didn't even roll down the window. That's how cold they is out there, baby. Let me tell you something.
Could I ask you
6 times it didn't roll down the window.
How old was your son when he got shot?
Jasmine, he's 41 now, and that was in 2015. So he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
Because I remember I would look for services for him, and they didn't have no services for him because of his age.
Really?
It stops about youth in that age there. And as far as like, what do you call that when they give you money? Victim assistance?
Yes.
That was out the door. So I was just on my own. And the reason why I was out the door, and many people don't know this, is because if he owes a parking ticket, child support, they have built a back door to get the money. So I'm like, he's laying here helpless, and you're going to hold him accountable. So I ain't got no money. Yes, I get some money. Go find me a hustle up because I'm working a job. And so at the end of the day, he was in his 30s, and I want to say this because I have said to the public, go get your child. And they're like, he grown. But he ain't going to be grown when you have to sign them papers on that casket, on that funeral. He going to be yours when the police call you. You got to go identify him. He going to be your child. And all that other stuff. And so, you know, time out for that. That's your child. And what I mean is go out there, get them right. Say, baby, hey, I don't want to lose you to the dirt. Because once you die, you can't come back. What's going on? Where, you know, and sometimes it's the parent. I'm saying it's the parent all the time. I had a lady told me I worked jobs all the time and I made sure my kids had this and this and that. Well, that was the problem. You wasn't in the home. So there was, you know, plenty idle time for your child to get in trouble. So both of her sons, you know, one is in jail for attempted murder and one just got murdered. And, you know, and so when I go talk to the families, I learned from women that I have to be strong and I have to work because there's no daddy in the home. And there's no daddy in the home, nobody training our kids. Then they form these groups that you guys call gangs, which are really their friends and people that they know that's going to be there to support them when they get teased or whatever have you. And teaching them illegal things, yes, but they still are a family bond. And my son had to teach me about gangs. He said, I said, so you a writer? You out here shooting people because how do you think a gang member? That's what they do.
I didn't know they had different positions.
Yes,
with the
they
gang.
do. Yes, they do. Because basically, I said, so you a writer? He said, I'm not a writer, Mom. He got real offended. He said, you raised me better than that. I said, what? I said, you ain't running around just shooting people. He said, no. He said, we are a family. We protect each other. If somebody do something to my family, then I will write. You got knuckleheads that's out here just gunning and shooting and for position. He said it's these younger kids. He said the older cats is not doing all this. We raising families and stuff. It's these younger kids that's doing it. And they're also recruiting. Now we got younger kids that are recruiting your grandkids.
What?
Oh yeah. So we have little, like if they have a title, say it's little Big Ray Ray. So he got little Ray Ray 1, little Ray Ray 2. I mean, he going on down the list and recruiting them. And you don't even know your kids are recruited. They go around and find kids that are vulnerable. Parents aren't around and they're in the community all the time. And they recruit your kids and they put a gun in your kids' hand. So, you know, go get your child started in 2015, people think. But it really started when I got my life together and came out the prison system. And when I got mine out of DHS. And got my life together and got saved and raised my kids in the church and all that kind of stuff. I had a chance to do all that. I had a chance to turn my life around. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because that's why my kids had that mindset, is because I had took them through some things. I had been in and out of prison. I was on drugs. You name it, I was doing it because I know now what I do. I was a product of my environment. That's how I was raised. And so when I made the decision to drop all titles, drop all feelings, and say, I'm going to put the mommy title on. And so, Jesus, I need you to help me get through that because I don't know how to do that. But I did it, and I was there for my kids. And they still went wrong. And I can see pretty much where they went wrong is because I was working day and night. The man that I chose, he was working day and night. So we wasn't in the home. And I wasn't watching for certain signs. I am finna do a book, like a little comic book here, to watch out for certain signs and certain things that you just don't do with your children. And number one is I allowed my kids to be around some family members that I know their mamas and their daddies. I shouldn't let my kids be around them because most kids are products of their environment. So if you got little Ray Ray and he got a mama, you know, that does a little this on the side, little daddy can do a little this on the side. They got little gang members hanging out the house. They balling, they rolling, or whatever have you. Look all good on the outside, but they doing these things, and you know they doing them. Don't you let your child go over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Because your child is a clean slate, and wherever you lay him, he picking up habits. And so if I would have known that, my child, so I'm not mad at the parent that won't let their child go around certain things. I got family members that will not bring their kids to our potlucks, our barbecues, or nothing. And when they do, they see us getting out of pocket or them getting out of pocket, drinking and getting loud, they scatter their kids out there. And so I had to ask somebody one time. She said, I don't allow my kids to be around all that. She said, I was raised that way, so I guard my children. And so she has those blinders on, so she sees certain things happening in the family gathering or whatever. She scalpels her kids or she positions them away from the mess long enough to get to him. And she probably pulled up and say, soon as they get out of pocket up in here, and I say, let's go, let's roll.
Yes.
You know, you have to do that
You're
sometime
right. You're right.
because you still want to love on your family and be around your family,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And so, saying all that, my son Jasmine, he took the wrong road, but all in all, he was a family man, and he loved his children. Got a chance to experience his children, and then God just, you know, we come in here with a day to live, and we come in here with a day to die. I just buried him, June.
Yeah.
And the reason why I kind of get emotional about that is because God honored my prayer when he got shot in 2015. I had to close the door and get with God like this. I don't talk to God like all y'all. Oh, hallelujah. You know, I get just like this. Hey, homie.
Right.
They just called me and said my son has got hit up at the hospital. I know where he at. But you know I've been praying for years and years and years that mine won't die in gang violence. And I need you to honor that. If I've really been serving you and there's really a God, I want, when I get up to that hospital, my child to live no matter what. And see, this is how I know that you caught me when you caught me in prison. See, because I can't see, you know, and people tell me certain things, you know, about God and all that kind of stuff, but I know what I'm serving and the feeling I'm serving and how he leading me and taking care of me no matter what. I'm serving something.
Yes.
And so I choose not to put a title on it. I call it God because the God is the big universe. But it's like this. And I said, if I get up there and my child lives, I will honor you. Can't nobody tell me you ain't real.
Man.
Nobody.
That's right.
And so when I got up there, the doctor said, you know, it's possible your son won't live because he got shot in the death zone. I said, what is the death zone? He said, right here on the side. And so, make a long story short, because of time, I told them, they thought I was crazy. Because you know how when you go to Mannion Hospital, it's just all the windows and you can see your family members just laying there. And I had put blessing oil all in my. I got all the. I had a full blessing. I hit that door and his uncle was behind me, and it was two nurses, and I said, "No, I need y'all to come out." I said, "Cause I gotta come in and take some direction." So they looking at me like Robert finna give me some direction. So when I went to step, I told him, "You stay here." I stepped by myself. I hit that door with the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. I put blessing all around. Looked around at them. They was looking at me like I was crazy. I said, tell your person, the housekeeper, don't touch none of this. And then I went in there and I said, God, I was shaking, y'all. But I knew I had to be a boss because I had to take care of my son. I had time to be all falling. I had to be a boss and handle this situation. So I said, Lord, what would you have me do? He said, go to the top of his head and anoint him, touch every bullet hole you see. And I did. And I took that blessing on. I went all the way down. And then he said, I went to the feet. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, because they had his feet out. I guess they were high or whatever. And I put 2 crosses on there with the blessing oil. I stepped back. I said, now what? He said, I need you to turn your child over to me and stop being God. He said, because that's my child. And if I choose to take him out here, I want you to have that understanding.
Yes.
And I said, I just stepped back and did what he said. And when I walked out that room, I told the doctor, my son shall die, not live and not die. I said, don't speak to me about dying. I said, and he said, well, they got to do all these surgeries. I said, don't put nobody on the phone that I got to prove to go into surgery. Yes, they're going to be prayed for. So I did that. I had prayer, I did the whole 9 yards. And my son lived, but a lot of our kids are not living. And I know that. So I like to use my story in order to give you a story and give you a platform so you can step with me and stand up and say, no more. These kids need to put down these guns.
That's right.
And so I have collaborated with all that work. Fast forward 2021, I have collaborated with The Ways to Happiness. Now this book, Cynthia Harris, Dr. Cynthia Harris used to give it to me all the time, and it had a different cover, and I would just throw it away. Like she gave me the whole corny book with the people. I'm looking at the time too.
Yes.
And I would never read it. And it was at a time that I opened up this book and I seen happiness and I read it. And that's what I want to be. I want to be happy in a sad situation, helping you and helping this community. So I have this teachable tool right here, and we also have it in kid form. So the parent has theirs, and they give this to the kid, and it's something that y'all can go back and forth. And these are common sense things. But on chapter 8, they're doing "Do Not Murder" campaign on me right now. So you will
Man.
see me in the media, in the community. Every Saturday we go out to a place where somebody has gotten murdered, and we have the sign, the campaign signs. We put it in the yard, and we talk to people. And I got a lot of people
Man.
volunteering, but I don't got none of my people showing
Okay.
up.
All right.
And I need
Yes,
that.
yes,
I need
you're
that
right,
support,
yes.
you know, because these other people God sent too.
Yes.
Because
yes.
they a team and they really working with me, and I appreciate them. And I have a website now, gogetyourchild.org.
Yes, beautiful.
Check it out. You can even sign up for the course, because this is a course online that you can do right off of my page. But it's about healing. It's about having some fun in our
Yes,
community.
yes, yes.
It's about working with,
Beautiful.
Eddie Morales. He ran for mayor out in Gresham.
Okay.
And then
All right.
Vincent Dixon Jones. He's he made history out in Gresham. So they're my right hand people. And so they are actually meeting with me this week to get in with some people to get some budget lines so we can have some money for our families
Yes,
and stuff
you're
like
right.
that by doing these
Beautiful.
surveys, as well as we have a job that's going to be coming
Yes,
in. It's a surprise. I don't want to tell everybody,
Okay.
but I think y'all going to be able to eat. And you guys are going to be able to boss up and not just have a regular job, but boss up and like getting a career. So we're doing things around here in this community, and I'm so happy that you invited me to be here,
Yes.
because this is part of spreading the word.
Yes.
This is for us. This is
Yeah,
our
you're
platform.
right.
When I say go get your child, this is for you. And so just come along
That's
and get
right.
my back, and let's do
Yes,
this
that's
to
right.
have these kids put down these guns.
Yes, you're
You
right.
know, exactly.
Yes. Beautiful. And I would like to share a poem that I didn't write, but one of my relatives wrote this poem.
Okay.
She wrote this poem because somebody purposely ran down her daughter with a car because they was jealous. And she didn't die then, but she eventually died from her wounds. So at the service, the mother wrote this poem, and it just touches my heart. And these are her words from the mother of the child. The name of the poem is From Parent to Child. She said, I gave you life, but I cannot live it for you. I can teach you things, but I can't make you learn. I can give you directions, but I cannot be there to lead you. I can allow you freedom, but I cannot account for it. I can take you to church, but I cannot make you believe. I can teach you right from wrong, but I cannot always decide for you. I can buy you beautiful clothes, but I cannot make you beautiful inside. I can offer advice, but I cannot accept it for you. I can give you love, but I cannot force it upon you. I can teach you to share, but I cannot make you unselfish. I can teach you respect, but I cannot force you to be respectful. I can advise you about friends, but I cannot choose them for you. I can advise you about sex, but I cannot keep you pure. I can tell you the facts of life, but I cannot build your reputation. I can tell you about drinking, but I cannot say no for you. I can warn you about drugs, but I cannot prevent you from using them. I can tell you lofty goals, but I cannot achieve them for you. I can teach you about kindness, but I can't force you to be kind. I can warn you about sin, but I cannot make your morals. I can love you as a child, but I cannot place you in God's family. I can pray for you, but I cannot make you walk with God. I can teach you about Jesus, but I cannot make Jesus your Lord. I can tell you how to live, but I cannot give you eternal life. Man.
Girl.
Ooh, my
Ooh,
God.
that just sent chills.
Ooh.
She wrote that for her daughter.
Yes.
And
yes.
that her obituary?
Yes. it
She
was-
put that on the
yeah,
back.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, man.
Oh my
yes,
God.
man.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah, that, yeah.
That says a lot to any
Ooh.
parent that is looking right now.
Man,
All that,
mm,
take that in. You can't do
Man.
none of that.
man, man.
You cannot give them eternal life. And it also states one thing: they are still living.
Right.
They just bossed up. They just went to a different level, baby.
Yes.
That's what I told him when my son. I got a sign. It's not a sign. It says boss. And I put that on his chest and closed the casket. Because when you open up this one, he's bossed up, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Man.
I don't care how he went. He's bossed up because I haven't planted those things in him. And God has talked to him. And I turned him over to the big boss.
Beautiful.
And so life, doesn't stop.
Yes.
They still got chapters and steps they got
Beautiful.
to take. It's called
Beautiful.
leveling up.
And didn't you donate?
Oh, yes, I
Ooh,
did.
Oh,
We have
my
to.
God.
So they told me my son was a donor. And I was like, what? So I said, give me the registry. They gave me the registry and everything. And he saved a man.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Man.
Somebody's living because of him. And I don't
Oh,
care
my
what color he
man.
is.
Man.
Somebody's living because of my son.
Man.
And they send me the man's information. I haven't wrote the letter or anything yet. I just haven't got to that. And that's what I want to talk to you about.
Yes,
It's us starting a heart campaign here next.
Yes,
A heart
yes.
campaign to
Beautiful.
teach our people how to do CPR
Yes,
and stuff
man.
like that. Because Jasmine, when he got caught up, they just let him sit in the car. And didn't give him CPR. The people around him didn't know about CPR. That's not the reason he died, though. But that stuck in my mind that we need to teach.
Right.
And we also need to let these girls know that's dating our kids and
Right.
stuff. Lady, what is your skill set? Do you know CPR? Something happened with my child? We ain't thinking about that. And so, that's something that I'm going to be telling mothers to check in with when they bring these girls around. Check in with them to see what their skill set is, because if something happened to your child, she don't know how to do a mouth to mouth, or she don't know how to call you in the middle of the night and say something happened to your child. Something wrong.
Right.
And that's our job, even though they're grown, is to try to educate these women that get in this thing,
Yes,
girl.
yes.
Because they be bringing some doozies around. I said, I'm going to be like, do she know CPR? Not,
Right.
because you out in them streets.
Yes.
We got to train them.
That's good.
Yes.
And we got to train and let them know their rights.
Yes.
Your right is to come home safe.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It ain't to get shot by our police. Be real quiet. And
Yes.
your right is to
Man.
get home. See, because I can help you when you get home. I can't help you if you're dead.
Man.
And then we got to train these girls around our children, honey.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
that's something that I really want to work with
Beautiful.
you on,
Yes.
because it's a whole totally different twist.
Yes.
And we're going in the community teaching them CPR,
Yes.
and we're bringing awareness to it. But we're
Beautiful.
also bringing awareness to the game.
Yes.
If you dating this female, she needs to be sitting here getting
Yes.
Right.
breathing
Yes.
on the donkey. I mean, not a donkey,
Yes, yeah.
but a dummy
Yes. Yes.
too.
yes. Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
teaching her not to
Man,
freeze,
man,
like,
man.
oh my God. This lady froze for 14 minutes. She
Man.
called his baby mama that had dropped him off to come back. She come back, he's still sitting up in the car. She gets out of the car like, what's going on? Why is he still here? And she said, you can't get him out. He's really big. She's small. She yanked him out of there. It was like, you ain't finna leave me. And start breathing on him and telling everybody, call the ambulance, what's going on? Then she calls the ambulance. It was there in 2 minutes.
Man.
So we got to teach them.
Yes. You're right.
And
You're right.
especially dealing with the other people.
Right.
Yes.
You
man.
rise.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, the minute I
Yes,
see
yes,
one of them, I
yes.
don't care who their
Man.
mama is or whoever,
Yes, yes.
I see your son out there and he got the other people. I'm going to say, honey, who's your mama? Or either I'm going to tell him, hey, I'm going to check this out. You need to ask this, get her skill set in emergency. That's what I'm
Yes.
talking about. What is her skill set in an emergency?
Yes,
Say
yes.
for somebody to shoot at you.
Yes.
Or you finna die. That's don't be looking at what she can
Yeah.
do.
Right.
Look at what those is the skill sets you want.
Yes.
Do she know CPR and things? Do she
That's
know
right.
how to get you out of a
Yes.
situation that
Yeah.
if something happens? That's
Yes.
those are skill sets I would like to
Sounds
install in
good.
that program. But it's all about media. It's all about getting the word. We're looking for people to join us in this crusade to bring awareness to heart,
Man.
to gang violence, to
Man.
violence. But
Man.
most of all, I'm here to
Man.
do intervention
Yes.
with your child.
That's right.
I'm teaching him how before he get a gun in his hand and
Yes,
not
you're
pick
right.
it up.
You're right.
Right here by
Yes,
installing
yes.
good
Yeah.
morals.
Yes.
And so your child, when somebody come to him with a gun, he'd be like, "Oh no, man, I ain't down with that. I'm a boss. I'm
Yes.
a boss.
Man. Man.
I don't
You're
get
right.
led like
You're
that.
right. Right.
I'm a boss,
Yes,
and that's what
yes.
I want to teach kids.
That's right.
You have
That's
to be the
right.
boss of your life. You can't let this your friend, just because you like him swag in here, give you some dope or give you this idea of how we're finna live. No, you have to be a boss and
Yes.
say, no, partner, I don't live like that. Now I'm a boss now.
Yes.
You do that, you do that, but I'm not finna join you in doing that.
Yes.
I'm gonna show you how the boss gonna
You're
do
right.
it.
You're
You know,
right.
absolutely.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
And it is.
We have to start training
you're
our
right.
children.
Yes, it's time for a change.
It's
It's time for a change of mind and heart. I'm not talking about quarter, nickels, dimes, and pennies. That kind of change.
Oh, come on.
I mean, we need a change of mind and a change of heart. And we need to show more love
Towards each other.
I mean, my mother, she taught us, do unto others as you want done unto
That's
yourself.
in here.
You're right. Beautiful.
That's in
Yes.
here. It covers all those
Yes.
things.
Man.
But
and-
it breaks it down and teaches.
Yes, yes.
Instead of mama just saying, do unto others as you would do unto others. But I didn't get the understanding of that. You didn't
Yes.
break that down.
Yes,
It
you're
goes
right.
into the story like I was telling you, the girl, the mother and the daughter. They
Yes.
making meatloaf. And then the mom, she cut the ends off. And the daughter was like, Mom, why you cut the ends off? Oh, I don't know. My mother did. She said, go ask your mother why she cut that off because I'm curious. Her mama said, well, hey, my pan was too small. And they didn't carry that all the way down. The mother, she trying to implant that in her daughter. This is the way you cook a meatloaf. And that's not. That's what we get with this broken generational. So we all got to get untaught and relearned.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
In order to survive in this 2021,
Oh.
we got to go on with that old hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, swing low, and what daddy said and all that. Because they didn't brought us some broken stuff. Go back to that broken poem.
Man.
And so I choose not to be broken. I'm bringing new information in.
Yes.
And all that old stuff ain't working no more.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's time to
yes.
upgrade that.
Yep.
Upgrade our educational system, because they do it in the schools. When the book get older, whatever have you, they upgrade it and they go volume 1, volume 2. Why they still on volume 1 when they teaching us about our culture, about Toby that lost his foot, so and so married him. Oh, what's going on in our community right now?
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk
yes.
about
That's right.
grassroots people that stand on the front
Yes,
line
yeah.
fighting for violence. Go on with all that. We ain't trying to listen to Toby. Toby 1,000 years ago.
Yep.
And that's their story. But this is
Yes.
our story down
Yes,
here.
you're right.
Teach us how to get out of this slavery here and
Yes,
become free.
you're right.
Because we enslaved and don't
Yes.
know it.
You're right. Yes.
This is a dictation.
Yes.
America
Yes.
is.
Man.
And to us, they are only dictating so far. It's a glass ceiling we cut off. We can
Yes.
only do so much.
Yes.
And I'm asking the culture that's out there saying, well, how do we heal the black people? What do we do? You stop treating us like we're not valuable. Treat us like you treat your kids, because your kids got an education and money. Why don't ours? So you start giving us that kind of training and letting us train our kids and let us do culturally specific programs. We can't train them off of what you done made. You are outsider looking in, telling us what we need. Absolutely not. You're wasting money. Train up people like us that's in the community with lived experience that can talk to our people, that can
Yes.
go in where you can't go in, and have us create curriculums around us, so we can put that swag in it and that
Yes.
game in it, so that our kids understand it, because they ain't understanding the old corny stuff.
Yes. You're right.
Right.
So even when I teach this, it's gonna have a little swag with it. If your
Yes.
kids got swag, and I notice that in the audience when I'm teaching there, I'm gonna switch up. You know, I can teach you plain, or I can teach you with some swag, but I know that our kids need to get it that way.
Yes. You're right.
See, because you already exposed them to video and all this other kind of stuff, and I come corny with this. Guess what? They're not going to listen to that. So we're developing that. That's why I'm asking African American people to start joining me and have a seat at the
Yes,
table.
that's
Because
right.
check this out. I walked all up in the police station and everybody where I done been and just had a seat. What you up in here talking about? When you say community, that mean I can sit here, right? I got a seat at this table. I done took a seat at the table. I want to understand what y'all talking about, and so I can take it back to my community. So then I can listen to my community and bring it back to y'all. Then we can work something out. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we ain't doing nothing. That's what I've been doing. Sitting in the rooms, bossing up, listening and how they're doing, and seeing how we missing out because we ain't sitting at the table. Then you want to get mad. I had a mother call me one time and say, "Did you post about my son on Facebook?" Excuse me. Did you call Channel 12-8 live and local and ask them that same question? Why you focus on me?
Right.
You're right. You're right.
Go get your child. It's not me. Go get your child as a visual.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm gonna post your child if he did something, you know. So all that corny stuff, we need to stop. We need to start supporting each other.
Right.
Yes.
And you're
yes.
the younger generation, so you understand what I'm
Yes.
talking about
I wanna
on the
join
support.
Yeah.
I want
Okay.
to volunteer. Absolutely.
Yes,
Sign me up.
yes. And then I want to listen to you and take your advice.
Yes.
I want to listen to you
Yes,
because
yes.
we all got different lived experience,
Absolutely.
and you can bring me something that I didn't think about, and you can bring me something I didn't think about.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I need
Yes.
that kind of support.
Yes,
I done
that's-
ran long enough by
yeah.
myself.
You're right.
Can I get some help?
Absolutely.
Oh,
You're going to get some
Jesus.
help.
Some
You
help.
got me.
And
I'm
some
fine.
help.
Right.
Yes, some
I'm
help.
You
right
got
here.
grandkids, you got
Yes,
family.
yes,
Right.
I
yes.
need some help
I got
because
you.
when you helping me, you helping you. This is your platform.
Yep. Let's wrap this up.
Man.
Sisters. This was beautiful. Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
yes.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
I
God.
love
my
it. We can just go
God.
on and on. This
Yes.
should be
Man.
volume 1. We're going
Yes.
to do
Right.
2 next.
Right.
Because honey, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we
Right.
do.
This
And-
was fun.
Yep. And we're gonna talk, but there's gonna be
Absolutely.
some action.
You-
You know what I'm
It
saying?
has to
Yeah,
be
it's gonna
action.
be some
She
action.
just said action.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wants to join.
I want to.
And she
And I'm-
wants to help me do this.
I wanna
Yes,
help you.
yes. I'm on board.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
on board.
And we have
Yes.
to do it together.
Yes, you're
But
right.
we can stay in our own lane, like
Yes.
you podcast, and you are with your title here. You stay in your lane, but you bring that to
Yes,
the table.
yes, you're right.
And then I
Yes.
stay in my lane
Yes.
and bring it. And then anything that's not out of my lane, and I see, pass it to the sisters.
Yes,
I'm not
right.
gonna be jealous and
Yes.
hating.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna operate like a queen. And
Right.
check this out. My crown ain't crooked. It's sitting straight up. Can't
Yes.
Can't
All
you
right.
see it?
All right, sister.
I can see it.
Thank you
for
very
blessing
Bye,
much.
you guys.
Thank you
Yes.
for joining us today. What is a little girl supposed to do? And thank you. We'll talk to you next week, next time. And we appreciate everyone's support. And have a great evening.
Yes, enjoy that sunshine. Hey.
Thank you.
Because I'm
thank
fin to.
you.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. What is a little girl supposed to do? Until next time.